Right. Good morning, everyone. So, what we are discussing last class? So, I hope you all remember what we discussed in last class. Last class we discussed what is wrapper class, why wrapper class, right? How many wrapper classes, how wrapper class is created, right? So, when I have to use wrapper class, where I have to use wrapper class, right? We clearly understood. Now, today we'll try to continue programming on wrapper classes. So, using wrapper class, what are the operations we can do, right? Using wrapper class, we can perform totally 6 operations. Converting primitive data type to wrapper class object, converting wrapper class object to primitive data type, converting primitive string object to wrapper class object, converting primitive string object to primitive value, converting wrapper class object to primitive string object, and converting primitive value to primitive string object. So basically 6 operations, but there are three operations vice versa. Now first let us try to understand converting primitive data type to wrapper class object. Okay, now tell me, if you want convert primitive value, okay, primitive data type value, okay, I'm taking let me take the class name as PV, primitive value, in place of primitive data type. Okay, what I'm doing here, I have primitive value, let's say 5. Okay, now this value 5 I want to convert as a wrapper class object to pass it as an argument to some class method. Then you have to create wrapper class object. Tell me how to create any class object by using new keyword constructor. Tell me which wrapper class I have to use. I have 8 wrapper classes. Which wrapper class I have used based on the primitive value type. Primitive value 5 is of what type? Int. Int matching wrapper class is integer. So what, right? Int new integer of 5 semicolon, right? Any class object we can create by using new keyword and constructor. Primitive value is of type int. Int wrapper class is integer. Create integer class object. I want to use this integer class object in the next lines of the code. You must assign to a variable, obviously. Integer io1 equal to. All you understand a simple statement. How to convert a primitive value integer to wrapper class object. For that, you must use integer class object. What is that? Integer io1 equal to new integer of what you call 5. Simple. That's it. Complete. Operation is completed. Simple statement. Okay. You no need to create integer class. It's already available. How to open the what do you call source code of integer? F3. Press F3. Place the cursor on this class integer. Press F3. Now you got the source code. Look at there. This class is extending from number, implementing comparable, constable, const description. Okay, totally 3 interfaces it is implementing, and it has several variables: min value, max value, type variable. Okay, and then next, look at, there is a something called all possible characters for representing a number as a string. Okay, look at that, 0 to 9, A to Z. Okay, right. So these are the digits, everything is there in a character format. Okay, Next, it is having some method, toString method. Okay, lot of different methods are there. We no need to worry about all these things. Just I am letting you know source code how to open. Okay, come back. Then next, I wanted to see, tell me, whenever you create a new keyword, whenever you use a new keyword, what new keyword will do? It will allocate memory for non-static variables available in the class. Now, new keyword will take the class name integer and allocate memory for instance variables. How do I know how many variables are there inside this integer class? Just go into constructor. In constructor, what variables are initializing? That variables only the instance variables, right? Tell me, inside constructor, which variable initializing? Value. And now tell me, value is the instance variable available in this class. Okay, value variable of what type? Int type. So now, whatever the value we are passing, that value is storing in this object value variable. This constructor is deprecated in Java 9 version. Okay, why it is deprecated? What is the alternative to it? We will discuss. Okay, don't worry at this minute. Then now come back. So now, what is the memory diagram of this statement? In last class, I explained one more time. I wanted to show you. Now, IO1 variable is created following by integer class object is created. Generally people will write integer class object directly 5 like this, but I want to write little clearly, then more detailed. Okay, now internally value variable is created. Inside value variable, value 5, the given value 5 stored, it will go into constructor. From the constructor, this dot value equal to value storing here, its reference is 10 stored in IO1 pointing to it. So this is the object memory diagram. Okay, can you please confirm all the people understand? Click on raise button and tell me. Yeah. uh, can you try to help me? I want to create, I want you represent 10.5 as a object. 10.5 as an object. Tell me, how can I represent 10.5 as an object? How can I represent 10.5 as an object? Tell me. 10.5 is what type? Float or double? Double. So you must create double class object, double do1 equal to double object 1 equal to new double of what do you write now? 10.5. Right? Then tell me, background, what is the memory diagram? Same memory diagram, no difference. Background memory diagram, same memory diagram. Do1 variable created equal to new keyword, create new instance with reference 20, 20, 10, 10 already completed, first object there. New keyword will go to double class. In a double class also, this is a double class object. In a double class also, same name variable is available value, but type is double type. And now with the default value 0.0 will be there. It is replaced with constructor taking the value 10.5. This dot value equal to value logic is there. 0.0 replaced with 10.5 in the object. After object creation completed, new keyword return the reference and stored here 2020. Now the 2020 pointing to it. That's it. Simple point, right? Very simple story. Okay now? So you take any wrapper class, every wrapper class memory diagram is same, no difference. Okay, let me show you double constructor F3 plus F3. Look at that. This dot value equal to value. Look at value variable, this dot value equal to value. If you want to see this class type hierarchy, means what are the members available in this class? Do you remember what the shortcut? I want to see the type hierarchy of this class. What the shortcut? F4. Type hierarchy F4. Look at that. It has these many members. Compare method, double to long byte, long bits, double to long bits, double to raw long bits, hash code is finite. All these are static methods. Constructor. Two constructors are there, double and string, two constructors, and byte value method. Okay, private members are not showing. Okay, all public members, protected members only showing to you. Private members are not showing. It is a subclass of number extending from object. Okay, fine. And then now go back. So closing this, close this. Now tell me, I wanted to store a character single quote as a object. What the statement you write? Character ch, okay, co1, character object 1 co1 equal to new character of new character of okay. If you want to see how many constructors available in this class, just you type character, press control space, it will show the available constructors in this class. How many constructors are there? Only one constructor there. Character of char value, only one constructor is there. Now you should pass the value single quote a. Tell me, background memory diagram as previously, as it is like previously na, integer class object memory diagram value contain 5, double class object memory diagram value contain 10.5, character class object also double quotes, I mean we have the value variable which contain single quote a. Okay, right, no difference. Then next, now I want you represent boolean boolean true as object. Then which class I should use? Boolean bo1 equal to new boolean of okay, look at there, how many constructors are there in boolean class? Two constructors are there. Boolean parameter, string parameter, two constructors are there. Boolean parameter constructor I am taking value, I am writing true here, semicolon. Okay, so this is the way which object you wanted to create, that wrapper class you must use and create the object by passing the respective value. Everyone comfortable? Now after objects creation, generally what you do, will display na, for confirmation purpose. S out, I am displaying IO1. What will be displayed? If you display IO1, what will be displayed? Control 1 compile, sorry, control F11 execute. Look at there. Look at there, what is the output coming? Are you getting class name at the rate hash code? In variable chapter, I told you when you display object, what will be displayed? Class name at the rate hash code will be displayed, right? But now, what is displaying? 5. Why? Why? What is 5? Object data. If you display wrapper class objects, object data is displaying. Why? I told you in last class, toString method is overridden. IO1 dot toString method is overridden F3. Look at there, toString method implicitly return toString of value F3. Clip on press F3, F3, F3. Look at there, toString of int I1, int size equal to string size of I1, compact string else like this. Okay, they are just returning the content of the object. Okay, data of the object only it is returning to us. Okay, there is a little heavy code is there, no need to worry that much heavy code. Now finally, what is the point? Whenever you try to display wrapper class object content is displayed on the console. Are you catching my point? Content is displayed on the console. Okay, because toString method is overridden in the all wrapper class of all wrapper classes. Then now tell me here, do1 and co1 and what you call bo1, all objects I have displayed control F11. Look at there, the values are coming 5, 10.5a and true. Can I hope you understand how to work with wrapper classes to convert primitive value to wrapper class object? Okay. Now, when you learn some concept, many times I told you, you must relax, you must find some errors. What are the possible questions can ask in the interview? Okay. What are the possible questions can ask in the interview? You must find out, I told you, right? Then tell me. I have worked with 4 classes: integer, double, character, boolean. Now let us try to work with other classes too. What is that? Byte class. BO1 already there. Okay. B1, let me write. B1 equal to new byte of now I am passing here 5. If I write 5 here, is it compiled or not? If I write 5 there, is it compiled or not? It is Eclipse now. If I type, it is throwing error or no throwing error. It's auto compiled, right? You will tell answer. That's why I'm not typing. You only tell. If I write 5, is it compiled or not? The point you should remember, if every wrapper class implicitly contains, it's a primitive type, it's a primitive data type variable to store the primitive value, to store its a primitive value. And tell me, understand this question? Every wrapper class implicitly contains its primitive data type variable to store its value. For example, integer class contain int variable, double class contain double variable, character class contain char variable, boolean class contain boolean variable, byte class contain byte variable. Okay, next. For initializing this primitive data type variable, every wrapper class provides parameterized constructor. Tell me, what is that constructor parameter type? Every wrapper class provides parameterized constructor. Which parameter type constructor? Come on. Provides which parameterized constructor? What the parameter type? Oh, come on. It's a primitive data type parameterized constructor. What the parameter type? It's primitive data type parameterized constructor. Now integer class constructor parameter type is int. Double class constructor parameter type is double. Integer class parameter type is int. Next, double class constructor parameter type is double. Character class constructor parameter type is char. Boolean class constructor parameter type is boolean. Same way, byte class constructor parameter type is dash. Hello, come on fast. How much time? Byte class constructor parameter type is what? Byte. Byte class constructor parameter type is what? Byte. And tell me next. Short class. Short S1 equal to new short of what the parameter type? Short. Right? Long class if you take. Okay. Long. L1 equal to new long of what the parameter type? Long. And next, float. F1 equal to, okay, new float of what the parameter type? Float. Okay, already have explained 4 classes. Now remaining 4 classes I have typed here. Okay, so what the parameter type? The byte class type is byte, short class type is short, long class type is long, float class type is float. Okay, now my question, carefully think. Here I am writing, in place of byte, I am writing what? 5. Is it allowed or not allowed? Is it allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Compiler will throw error. Why? Because if you write 5 here, compiler searching for which constructor? Byte of int parameter constructor, method overloading chapter. If you pass argument, compiler search for argument type parameter method, argument type parameter constructor, right? Then tell me, byte of 5, if you give byte of 5, compiler software search for Search for int parameter constructor. Yes or no? Int parameter constructor not available. So throwing error. So what to do now? What to do now? I have to cast argument. Look at that. Eclipse is giving fixed to you. Cast argument 5 to byte. Okay. Cast argument 5 to byte. If you write directly 5, compiler throw error. This is a very important interview question for you. If you pass int value directly, compiler will throw error. Then how can I call byte parameter methods? I told you two ways, either by using cast operator or by using variable. You have to create a variable of type byte, b3 or whatever equal to, and now you should write 5 here, and then you should create byte b4 equal to new byte of b4 b3. So via either cast operator or via variable, you have to pass int value as a byte type to the constructor. So this point we discussed. Similarly, byte class is available from 1.1 version. Integer available from 1.0, 1.0, 1.0, 1.0. But byte class not available in 1.0, available from 1.1 version. Beginning version not given. Short class is also available from 1.1 version. Okay. New short of what the parameter type? If I write directly 5, it will throw error. So what the solution for this statement also? You have to pass as a cast operator short of, or by using short variable, by using short type variable, short s3 equal to, what do you write, 5, and then you have to pass the variable what? S3. Are you following? That's very important topic. Sorry, S4. So you cannot directly create byte class object and short class object by passing int value. You have to pass them as byte type by using cast operator or by using variable. Next, now long class. Long class constructor is what? Long parameter. Should I do any casting? Not required. Directly pass 5. Pass 5. According to widening concept, compiler software will convert the value 5 to widening long. Int converted to long. Implicit conversion will be done by compiler. We no need to worry. In which version long class is given? 1.0. Okay, right. And then next, now float class. And tell me, sir, float f1 equal to new float. What the parameter type? Float. And now tell me, here can I write 10.5? Come on, come on. 10.5 can I write here? If I write 10.5, 10.5 is a what type? Double, na? Right? Float parameter constructor, float constructor parameter type is what? Float. To the float, can I pass? Can I pass what? Double? No. Compiler will throw error. Right? Compiler will throw error. But observe, there is no compile time error. Why? There is no compile time error. In which version float class available? 1.0. Now tell me, float class accepting double argument also. Why? It has constructor with double also. So that's the specialty of float class. Float class is having two parameter constructor, double parameter and float parameter. Both constructors are there. So you can pass floating point value as a float type, or you can pass as what? Double type. Both constructors are given. Everyone understand? Both constructors are given. So this is the special point about float class. So you can pass as a 10.5, you can pass as a 10.5f. Both are accepted. Rabuji, please verify all these points are there in material. All these test case points are there in material. Check once. Open material, volume 1A textbook. Volume 1A textbook. Wrapper classes chapter. Find out page number. Page number 113, 113. Open page number 113. Wrapper classes with auto boxing, auto unboxing. So I given complete details yesterday discussion and the classes hierarchy. Byte, short, integer, long, float, double, subclasses of number, character, boolean, subclasses of directly, object. Then 6 conversions. Okay, we are trying to understand each conversion detail. First conversion we completed. And now this is the table. What are the different methods and constructors you have to do? You have to use for performing that conversion. For first conversion, now we have constructor with the primitive data type as an argument. In all constructors or all classes we have that constructor, and in float class specialty we have float of double also additional constructor is there. Then the program start. Build program shows performing all above 6 conversions. Wrapper classes demo. Main method. First conversion primitive value to wrapper class conversion. Int I equal to 10. Integer of IO1 equal to new integer of value of method I will tell you. Wait a minute. Okay. The next SOPLN IO1 IO2. Now find out compile time errors in the below lines of code. Byte B1 equal new byte of 50 error. Next byte B2 equal new byte of 50 allowed. Character single quote A allowed. 97 not allowed. 97 is int, character class doesn't contain int type. With cast operator allowed. Boolean by equal to true allowed. Float f equal to 70 allowed. 32.56f allowed. 54 50.45 allowed. Double allowed. Okay, with a double type allowed, integer type allowed, character type also allowed. All these are allowed, no problem. Understand? So this is first conversion related test case points. Now I want you understand value of method. Okay, so from Java 5 version onwards, which version? Java 5 version onwards, we also have value of method. Okay, we can also use value of method. In Java 5 version, okay, here we need to understand two rules. Working with wrapper class, you have to understand two rules. This is rule number 2. Hence, okay, let me write like this. Rules in working with tell me what the rule numbers. Rule number 1, we do not have no arg constructor or no param constructor in all 8 wrapper classes. So we must pass a what? Argument to call wrapper class constructors. For example, I'm writing byte b equal to new byte of compiler will throw error. This is the rule number 1. Rule number 2. What is the rule number 2? We must pass argument of type it's matched, it's mapped primitive data type value. Okay, if you pass, okay, you can pass. We must pass argument of type it's mapped primitive data type or it's lesser type. We must not pass higher data type, higher range type. Compiler will throw error. Okay, so these are the 2 rules you have to follow. The next, from Java 5 onwards, in all wrapper classes, all constructors are deprecated. Deprecated as alternative to constructor, not replacement, alternative only. You cannot replace, okay? As alternative to constructors, we have, we got a static factory method. Okay, we got alternative static factory method. What the static factory method? Value of primitive data type. Same constructor parameter on primitive data type. Okay, it's prototype, public, static. Tell me, this is a factory method. What the meaning of factory method? Creates object and return that object. Public static. What is the return type? Value of method. Takes a primitive data type and returns its respective wrapper class. Primitive data type is the argument. Wrapper class is the return type. Wrapper class object is the return type. Okay, tell me, this value of method is available in all 6 wrapper classes. 8 wrapper classes. This method is available in all 6 wrapper classes. In all 6 wrapper classes. Tell me, how to invoke? In order to invoke this method, we must use class name. Which class name? Wrapper class name. Now tell me, I want to create integer class object. Okay, let me start with the byte class. Okay, I want to create byte class object. Byte by1 equal to byte 1 equal to I want to create byte class object using a value of method. What the statement I write? Byte dot value of. Look at there. Compilers Eclipse is showing value of byte parameter method. So I have to pass what? 5. Can I pass 5 directly? No. You have to use cast operator because this parameter is byte. Then look at there. Byte b1 equal to byte of value of. And then next, I want to create short object. sh1 equal to what the class name I should use? Short. Short dot value of what the parameter type I should use, either byte type or short type, your wish. Okay, because it's accept lesser range values. Next, I want to create integer object. What do you write? Integer in1 equal to what class I should write? Integer dot value of no need to use any cast, directly 5. Next, integer after long L01 or L1 equal to long dot value of, you can write 5 or you can write 5L, your wish. Okay, both are accepted. 5L, both are accepted. The next float class. Okay, float object I want to create. Float fo1 equal to, and then float dot value of, you can write, can I write 10.5? Come on. Can I write 10.5? No. Constructor, we have two parameter constructor. Double parameter is there, float parameter is there. But come to value of, we have only one parameter, float parameter. Okay, double parameter is not there. Be careful, remember it. Then next, here float f42 equal to, I am writing float dot value of 10.5 f. Compulsory I should write f, then accepted. And then next, double parameter constructor I'm using, double do1, already do1 may be there. Okay, d1 equal to, what do you write? Double dot value of 10.5, directly I'm writing. So any difference in constructor wise object creation and value of method wise object creation? Come on, think. What is the difference in constructor object creation and value of object creation? Any difference? Actually, method can create object. Just you question. Can method create object? Method can execute logic. Method can create object? No. Okay. Only new keyword and constructor can create object. How method call can create object? So why Sun Micro system recommending via value of method you create object? Don't use what you call long parameter method. I mean constructor. Don't use the constructors of wrapper class. Use value of method of wrapper classes. Why? Why they recommending from Java 5 onwards? What the benefit of value of method over constructor? Okay. For that purpose, first I want you know the test case. Observe here. Integer IO5 equal to new integer of, hey, come on. New integer of 5 I am writing. Okay, let me take some value 7. Next, new integer IO6 equal to new integer of same value object I am creating. Okay, system dot out dot println IO5 equal to IO6. Tell me, how many objects are created here? How many objects are created here? One object or two objects? Two objects. Two references are different. Then double equal to operator compare with reference. So we are getting output false. Right? We are getting output false. Look at, we are getting output false. Now I am creating same objects. I'm creating same objects. IO7, I'm taking another value 9. IO8, another value, let's say same value 9. Now IO7 double equal to IO8 I have written. Now what happened? Tell me. IO7 double equal to IO8 I have written. What happened? Tell me. These are I used for constructor. But what is our target? I want to use value of integer dot value of integer dot value of 9. Here what I should use? Integer dot value of. Earlier, if I use constructor, two separate objects are created. Now value of method I used. Observe what I'm getting now. True. What the meaning of true? Come on, come on. What the meaning of true? Two separate objects created or one object created? Only one object is created. Am I right? So tell me, what is the difference between constructor-wise approach and value of method approach? If I use a constructor-wise approach, compulsory, every time new object is created, even though data is the same. First object, second object, data is same, new object is created. If I use value of method, the advantage is it not creating object immediately. It is verifying is the object with the value of 9, is the integer object with the value 9 is already available. If already available, it creates, sorry, if already available, it returns that object to us. If not available, creates and return to us. So tell me, number of objects creation is decreasing now. Memory saved in the JVM, right? Unnecessary objects are not creating. Okay. Now tell me, whenever your mother wanted to buy some vegetables, is she directly buying vegetables? No. First, she is verifying already some vegetables available or not. What are the vegetables available? What are the vegetables not available? Checking and buying. Right or wrong? Right? First, they are verifying. If not available, then only buying. Same thing. You wanted to buy a book. First, you are verifying in your bag already book any empty book available, or you are verifying. If empty book is available, then you start using it. If no empty book, then only you are buying. So that money will be saved. Na? Same concept they are applying here. The concept is called what? Caching. Cache. Okay, caching or cache or concept is applied. That means if already object is available, second object is not created. Tell me, in this line number with 9, there is no integer object. Object is created, and then second line object is not created. Already available object reference is returned to IO8. Now my question, carefully think. How this value of method knows, how this value of method knows already integer object with value 9 available or not? Is my question understand? Right? How value of method knows there is an integer object with value 9 should not create. It's not there, so I should create. Value of method should search in a, tell me, where your mother searching for vegetables available or not? Complete home searching? No. Vegetables placing some area is there, na? Right? Either in the fridge or in the kitchen room, right? Now in the kitchen room or in the fridge also, complete fridge, complete kitchen checking? No. Now there is a special place because small basket will be there for the vegetables. In that basket vegetables are there, it's okay. Not there, then buying for the new vegetables. So value of method is also maintaining some basket kind of concept that is called array. Okay, value of method implicitly maintaining one array of what type? Integer class. Okay, integer class array it is maintained because integer array objects it has to store. Na value of method implicitly managing one integer array object. In that integer array object, all integer objects are storing. So whenever you call value of method, first it is going to integer array. Then from the retrieving first integer object, retrieving the value, retrieving the value and verifying is that value 9. If it is yes, then that object, existing object reference will be returned to us. If not available, it creates a new integer object with value 9 and store that integer object reference in the array and then return the integer object reference to our program IO7. Everyone understanding? Right, let me try to explain now. Now, background integer class, this is an integer class. Integer class, internally maintaining one array object. What is this array object? Integer array object. Integer class implicitly maintaining its own array object. Then, now, when you call value of method by giving 9, it is going to integer class, going to array object, and retrieving all the integer objects available in this array. Currently tell me, do you have any objects here? Value of method will take this value 9, go to integer class and going to going to integer array object searching for objects. Currently array object is empty, right? How it will retrieve for loop here? Okay, currently empty. Then what it will do? It creates integer object with value what? 9. Value variable value 9. And reference is what? Let's say 10 10. Now the 10 10 stored in integer array object first and stored here. Return 10 10 to our variable IO7. Then tell me how many objects, how many reference variables pointing to this integer object? Two variables, right? One is array reference variable, array location variable, and our own local variable. Okay, one nice. Then tell me next time when you call value of method, it will value of method collect the 9 and go to integer class. In integer class, go to array object. Tell me now from array object, it is retrieving the first available object, and then from that object retrieving the value, comparing that value with this value. 9 equal to 9. Yes, that means integer object with the 9 already available. Then what is doing? Is it creating new object? No, it returns the same object reference 10 10. Already 10 10 available in the location. That 10 10 it will take and return. Now tell me IO8 is now storing with what value? Here 10 10, and here also what value will be there? 10 10, and pointing to it. Then IO7 double equal to IO8, what will you get now? True. Everyone understand how it is working? Click on raise button and confirm. All you people understand? Now my question. If this algorithm is applied for all integers, the complete integer range, the complete long range, then JVM number of objects are increasing and finally memory, heap memory not sufficient. Na? Try to understand. Is this object eligible for garbage collection? Once you store this integer object inside this integer array, is this object eligible for garbage collection? Never. Even though your variables are destroyed, this object is not eligible for garbage collection because it's still handling by integer array. As long as integer class available, integer array available. As long as integer array available, now this integer class object is available. Then now this object is never eligible for garbage collection. The complete int range values or complete long range values, if you are using for, this object pooling, this concept is called what? Object pooling. This cache concept is called what? Object pooling. What the meaning of object pooling? Create one object and reuse that object from multiple referenced variables is called object pooling. This object pooling, if applied for complete int range values or complete what you call long range values, then now the memory size, memory problems will come. That's why Sun Microsystem has implemented this object pooling concept only up to byte range integers. Okay, up to byte range integers. What the meaning of byte range integers? If the argument integer value is between -128 to 127, then only the object pooling is applied. So inside value of method, first condition is there. The value is in between byte range -128 to 127. Then only going and checking object pooling. If the value not in the range of byte, directly straight away creating new object and return that object reference to us. Is it added to the pool or not added? Not added. Not added to the pool, directly returned to us. Are you catching my point? Right. So now let us try to understand next question. Let's see how many people correctly answered. Now, here cache, nothing but object pooling is applied. Next. Now, I'm going to write. And now, here cache there are, not there are, you decide, okay? IO9, IO8, IO9, IO10 equal to integer dot value of, I'm writing 190. Okay, I'm writing 190. And tell me, IO9 double equal to IO10. Bolo, pooling is applied or not applied? pooling is not applied. Then separated two new objects are created. So output is coming what? False. Look at that, false you are getting. So now here, no cache, no cache, and no object pooling because the values are not in the range of byte. Now let me see value of method internal code now, F3. Look at there, it is verifying if I greater than or equals to integer cache dot low and then I value less than or equals to integer cache dot high, then return integer cache dot catch of I plus minus integer cache dot low. Some logic they have written, it is returning from there. And now tell me, let me go to this class integer cache. So to maintain this object pooling, it is taking one class support called integer cache. Now this is, look at their private static class. That means it is the inner class of which class? It is inner class of which class? Integer. In integer class, this class is defined as a inner class. Are you following? Now look at there, what is the low value? Minus 128. What is the high value? Not decided. Okay, it's not assigned here. That maybe inside static block may be initialized. Now this is array object cache and one more array object archived cache something. Static block high value may be configured by property. Int h equal to 127. String integer cache high value equal to virtual machine dot vm dot get saved property java dot lang dot integer cache dot high. Okay, if you can create one property file with this name and you can specify higher. So they are supporting, okay, up to 127. By default they're supporting up to 127. If you want to configure higher value, you can configure, that's up to you. Then whatever the value you are assigning in the property file, that value is reading and assigned to h. Okay, h it is assigning to here, and then now that h assigned to high. Okay, you can specify that higher values also your wish. This is the static block for initializing. Okay na? Now there is written a code here, some logic they have written for returning object. Okay, so in your free time just go through once this code, you will get clarity. Okay, so now by default it is supporting only up to byte range. If you want to configure higher ranges, you can configure. You can change the byte range values to whatever the values you want. Okay, finally the return object from this cache is returning to our program. If the range is wrong, the range is not there, then now it is creating new integer object with a given value and returning to us. That's it. So this is the basic idea. You just remember, you will understand. Okay, now what the final point? What is the difference between, okay, here the question is, what is the difference between what is the difference in creating object by using new keyword and constructor and value of method and through value of method. Below, what is the simple point? Only one statement, object pooling. Object pooling. Okay, what the meaning of object pooling? If object is already existed with the given value of method doesn't create new object, it returns existing object. Okay, now it returns existing object, whereas new keyword and constructor always creates new object. Okay, this is the point about this question answer. If somebody asks why you are using this, you have to answer this one. Object pooling. Next note, or the important note, object pooling is applied by default up to byte range values minus 128 to 127. Okay, here I given test cases. Let me ask one question. I'm creating object by using constructor IO11 with value, let's say some value 10. Now IO12 equal to, I'm creating object by using value of 10. Then I'm writing system.out.println IO11 equal to IO12. Will you get a true or false? Definitely give wrong answer. Carefully think and answer. Will you get true or false? Value of method searching for the object, integer object with value 10 in JVM in the integer cache array. Think. Consider this point and tell me. Value of method is not searching for integer object with value 10 in the entire JVM. It is searching only in the array, integer cache array. Yes or no? How the object pooling is implemented? Object pooling is implemented by using array concept. For example, integer cache, double cache. So each wrapper class contain their own cache class. Okay, integer cache, long cache. Okay, etc. Are you catching my point? Now tell me, when you call value of method, it is searching for integer object with value 10 in the integer cache array. Is a constructor storing that object in the integer array cache? No, no. Then that object is not available. So value of method creates new object and return. Everyone understand? This is JVM. In JVM, this is integer class. In integer class, we have integer cache array. Now when you use new keyword constructor, object is created and return the reference and pointing to it with value 10. If you use value of method, what is doing? It is searching for the integer object with 10. Where? In the array. In the array, do you have any object is available? No. Everyone understand? It is not available. So what is doing? It creating another object with value 10. Now this object reference, let's say this is 111, this is 222. Now the 222 is stored here pointing. So new keyword constructor doesn't store object reference in the array. And now it returns what? After storing 222, the same 222 returning and pointing. Now it is pointing to second object. So result is what? False. Everyone understand? Result is false. This is very important point you have to practice. So if you practice all these test cases, it will be easy for you. Then tell me now, totally, now final conclusion. How many ways we can create wrapper class object and what are their differences? And tell me how many ways we can create wrapper class objects? We can create in 2 ways. Answer is in 2 ways by using constructor, and by using value of, by using primitive data type parameter constructor, by using primitive data type constructor, and by using primitive data type value of method. Two ways. The difference is object pooling. Value of method supports object pooling. Constructor doesn't support object pooling, always returns new object up to byte range only. This point is very important. And you can configure the other ranges if you want. Can I hope you understand these points? How many ways we can create wrapper class object and what are their differences? And very important, in Java 5 version, constructor in all wrapper classes constructor is deprecated and suggesting to use value of. Now my question, generally whenever some API is deprecated, in future it may be removed, right? Now my question, is it possible to remove constructor? In future, is this constructor removed? Hmm? In future, can they remove constructor? Oh, come on, come on. No, you cannot remove. You cannot remove because, okay, remember, inside value of method, inside value of method, constructor is used for creating object. So in future versions, constructor is not removed. Value of method is just alternative to constructor, but not what replacement. Value of method is just alternative to constructor, but not replacement. Okay, so this is the basic important points you have to practice and remember. Now I'm going to ask next question. What is that? Does this pooling applied to all wrapper classes? Does this pooling applied to all wrapper classes? This is another very, very important question. Come on, think. Does this pooling apply to all wrapper classes? Applied or not applied? Pooling is applied only to the byte range values. Answer is no. For double, for float and double, for float and double, pooling is not applied. Okay. Yes. To what? For integer. Okay. For byte, short, integer, long, and character. Pooling is applied up to byte range value. Okay. The meaning of deprecated. The question is right question. If any class or variable or method or constructor is marked as a deprecated, option number one, it is deprecated in the, if it is creating any problem, they deprecated and providing alternative to use. If that API is creating any problem, then they mark it as a deprecated and they will provide alternative to it. Sometimes they will provide replacement also to it. Okay, alternative sometimes and replacement sometimes. What does it mean? Now if the ones they are marked as a deprecated, it is not encouraged to use that API. In future versions, it may be removed or may not be removed. Why you take risk? Okay, so if they decided to remove, they may remove, but currently with the constructor cannot be removed. If it is just normal method, yeah, they will remove it, right? It's a normal method, they can remove. Alternative to this method, I given another method, but immediately not removed. In the future versions it will removed immediately. Why it is not removed? Because already this method used in the earlier projects na, already previous version projects used. If suddenly removed, all their projects will fail. So that's why what they did, they marked as a deprecated, and the next coming 3-4 versions they may be making it available, but later they may be removed. So in the next versions, when you upgrade your project to the next versions, all these deprecated APIs whichever you are using in your project must find a replacement, and you have to replace with the new API. So it is removed or not removed, we cannot guarantee. Maybe removed, it's not encouraged to use that. That's it. Next, very important question, sir. Tell me, for character class, sorry, character class already there. For Boolean class, pooling applied or not applied? Oh, come on. For Boolean class, pooling is applied or not applied? Array, Boolean is having just two values, true and false here. Yes. Pooling is applied for Boolean, for Boolean class also, pooling is applied. It is just having true false now. Let us try to test all these points quickly. Now I'm trying to create byte b1 equal to, let me quickly write, byte dot value of, I'm writing byte of 5, then byte b2 equal to, then s out, let me write here bt1 dot bt1 double equal to bt2, control F11, last value is true. Last value is true. And next, now copy paste short st1 equal to short dot short dot short st2. Here you can use a byte or you can use short, your wish. And tell me now, st1. Pooling applied or not applied? Pooling applied. Here new object created. In second line new object is not created. True. Okay. And next, now try to take integer class. Integer it1 integer it2 integer dot integer dot. Okay, casting is not required, directly pass value 5. Then it1 it2 will get output true. Pooling is applied. The next, I'm trying to work with long long lt1 lt1 long dot value of lt1 lt1 will get output true. Pooling is applied. Then next, I'm trying to choose float ft1 float ft2 float, and now I am giving here 5, but is it 5 or is it 5 or 5.0? 5.0f. Is it in the float range? No. I mean, is it a byte range? No. We're getting output false. Next, I'm taking double dt1 double dt2 double double dt1 dt2. Look at there, here also will get false. You are passing 5, but 5 is not 5. 5 is changed to 5.0, right? So 5.0 not in the range of byte. Next, now same statements. I'm working with character now. Character, 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 ct1, ct2, character, character. Now 5 we cannot pass. Let me take either cast operator of 5 or directly you can write single quote A. Tell me, single quote A is in the range of byte? Is a single quote A in the range of byte? Is a single quote A is in the range of byte? Yes. It's a 97, na? So pooling is applied, control F11, you'll get true. Look at that, true you are getting. And last but not least, Boolean. What do you write now here? Boolean, Boolean, BT1, BT2. Boolean dot value of, I'm writing true. Boolean dot value of, I'm writing true. We'll get output true. Okay, na? Now tell me. If you copy paste all these values, all these statements to the range of 150. 150 not in the range of, okay, byte. Tell me now. I hope I no need to tell these points, right? You can try yourself, right? Remaining all I am removing. Control F11. We'll get, hey, why are you getting true? $150 typecast to byte range, na? Better let us use integer or short, implicitly downcasting there now. 150, 150. 1 minute. Let me have both. Okay. Now here we will get true. Here we will get false. 150 is converted to byte range value because of cast. And here no conversion. 150 in the range of short, no conversion. 150 only will be there. So we'll get a true, false, false. Okay, true, false, false. So can I hope all people understood? What we understood? Converting primitive value to wrapper class object. And the process of converting primitive value to wrapper class object, we use constructor. And also we use value of method. Value of method is available from Java 1.5 version or Java 5 version for achieving object pooling. Constructor doesn't support object pooling, always creates and return new object. Value of method supports object pooling. From Java 5 version onwards, constructor is deprecated. Okay, constructor is deprecated and they given a message like this. The message is given like this. Constructs a newly allocated integer object that represents a specified int value. Deprecated. It is rarely it is rarely appropriate to use this constructor. The static factory method value of is generally a better choice as it is likely to yield significantly better space and time performance. Okay, better space means less space it is consuming and less time it is taking to execute. Okay, so that's why constructor don't use, you try to use value of method. This is the message they are given. So remaining all points, I hope you written notes along with me, right? All these points, please practice. Will you? Yeah. So practice and come. Today I'm stopping session here and tomorrow we'll continue second operation. Only first operation will take more time because we need to discuss Java 5 features and all those things. From next feature onwards, next conversion onwards, it takes less time. Fastly we can complete. Now look at here, indirectly we completed 2 programs. Look at here. Object pooling also completed na? 2 programs completed. Object pooling for byte range value. Okay. 2 concepts completed. Indirectly, I also completed auto boxing also. So with this knowledge, if I launch auto boxing, you can easily understand, quickly understand, but I don't want to talk now auto boxing. So we completed today 2 programs and remaining operations we'll try to understand in tomorrow class. So please practice and then please available tomorrow with practice knowledge. Okay, I completed class. If you have no doubts, you can leave the class. If you have doubts, you can stay here.